Brittany rolled her eyes and said, "Let's see if she's really allergic." I couldn't breathe, my hands trembled, now she's facing assault charges. I'm still shaking as I write this. This happened yesterday during what was supposed to be a fun family weekend trip, but it turned into something that has me questioning everything. Some background first. I'm 29F, married to Tyler, 32M for 3 years. I have a vestibular disorder from a car accident 2 years ago. My inner ear is messed up and causes severe motion sickness, vertigo, and nausea. I take prescription medication, but long car rides are hell unless I'm in the front seat. Anything over 30 minutes in the back and I'm throwing up for hours. Tyler's family knows about this condition. I've explained it multiple times and shown medical documentation. Tyler's brother Marcus is married to Brittany, 31F, who's 6 months pregnant. She's always been complicated. Needs to be the center of attention, but subtly, so you feel crazy for noticing. This weekend, Tyler's parents planned a lake house trip, 6 hours away. Marcus's car broke down Friday morning, so we all squeezed into Tyler's parents' SUV. I got in the front passenger seat like always, had my medication ready. Tyler driving, parents in middle row, Marcus and Brittany in back. 30 minutes in, Brittany spoke up. "Rachel, I need to switch seats with you." "What's wrong?" I asked. "I'm pregnant, I need the front seat." My stomach nodded. "Brittany, you know about my vestibular thing, I can't sit in the back for long trips." "It's just car sickness," she said with an eye roll. "I'm carrying a baby, that's more important than you feeling queasy." Tyler jumped in. Rachel has a medical condition." "Medical condition?" Brittany laughed. "It's motion sickness. Everyone gets that. I'm pregnant, Rachel. I need the front seat more than someone who gets a little carsick." The way she said little carsick made my blood boil. "It's not motion sickness. It's a vestibular disorder from my accident. I have prescription medication." "So your comfort is more important than a pregnant woman's?" Brittany crossed her arms. "My medical needs aren't negotiable." The car went silent. Brittany finally said, "Fine, I guess I'll suffer while you get royal treatment." The rest of the drive was torture. Every bump, Brittany had a comment. "Oh, my back, if only I could stretch somewhere." When we stopped for gas, I heard her on the phone. "She's being such a drama queen. It's motion sickness. She always has to be the victim, always something wrong that makes her special." My heart sank. I felt punched in the gut. Back in the car, Brittany smiled like nothing happened. "Feeling okay, Rachel? Not too queasy?" The last 4 hours were hell. Every adjustment I made, she complained. Air conditioning too cold. Seat back too far. When I mentioned hunger, she said pregnant women need food more than people who are just motion sick. At the lake house, Brittany made a show of stretching. That back seat was so uncomfortable. I don't know how anyone expects a pregnant woman to sit there for 6 hours. Linda felt guilty. "Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Next time we'll arrange better." "It's fine," Brittany said, shooting me a look. "Some people's needs are more important." I lost it. "My needs aren't more important. They're medical requirements." "Right, your medical requirements for motion sickness trump a pregnant woman's comfort." "Yes. Because one is diagnosed medical condition, the other is preference." Silence. Brittany's face went red. "I can't believe how selfish you're being. I'm growing a human and you can't give up a car seat because you might feel queasy." "Might feel queasy?" I couldn't believe it. "Brittany, I've explained this condition multiple times. You've seen me throw up from back seats before." "That was probably anxiety. You get worked up and feel sick." "It's psychosomatic." I looked around. Tyler's parents looked uncomfortable. Marcus stared at his shoes. Tyler looked torn. "You know what? I'm done explaining my medical condition to people who refuse to believe it exists." I grabbed my bag and didn't come out the rest of evening. Tyler found me later, said I should apologize to Brittany for causing a scene. Said she's hormonal and I should be understanding. When I reminded him he'd defended me, he said that was before Brittany got upset. "She's pregnant, Rachel. Can't you be more accommodating?" I felt like I was in the twilight zone. The rest of the weekend, Brittany acted martyred. Made comments about some people not making sacrifices for family. Told everyone I refused to give up front seat to pregnant woman. On the drive home, I sat front again because Tyler finally put his foot down. But Brittany spent 6 hours making passive-aggressive comments about my special treatment. Now Tyler thinks I should call Brittany and apologize, says family harmony is more important than being technically right. I don't think I should apologize for having a medical condition. I've dealt with this vestibular disorder for 2 years. It's not chosen, not controllable, not something to get over. Sitting in back for 6 hours would make me violently ill for days, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Brittany's pregnancy needs were more important. So Reddit, AITA for not giving up the front seat to my pregnant sister-in-law. Update 1. First, thank you all for the responses. Reading your comments made me realize I'm not crazy. The validation means everything right now. I've been reflecting on Brittany's behavior since her pregnancy announcement 6 months ago, and honestly, I think I've been blind to a pattern of manipulation. Let me give you some examples I didn't include in my original post. 3 months ago, we had family dinner at Robert and Linda's house. I have severe food allergies, shellfish and nuts can literally kill me. I always bring my EpiPen and check ingredients carefully. I told Brittany about these allergies multiple times over the years. That night, Brittany offered to help Linda cook. She made this beautiful salad and kept insisting I try it. It's just mixed greens, Rachel. What could be wrong with mixed greens? I asked about the dressing ingredients and she rolled her eyes. God, you're so paranoid about food, it's just vinaigrette. Turns out the vinaigrette had walnut oil. I only found out because Linda mentioned it casually later. When I pointed this out to Brittany, she said, "Oh, I forgot about your allergy thing. You're so high maintenance with food, it's hard to keep track." Then there was Tyler's birthday 2 months ago. The family planned a hiking trip to celebrate. I can't do strenuous hiking because of my vestibular disorder. The uneven terrain and elevation changes trigger severe vertigo. I'd explained this before, but when I suggested we do something else, Brittany said, "Come on, Rachel. Tyler shouldn't have to change his birthday plans because you don't like hiking. It's not that I don't like it. I physically can't do it without getting sick. You could try pushing yourself a little. Sometimes we think we can't do things, but we actually can if we just try harder." The family ended up going hiking. I stayed home. Tyler was disappointed but said he understood. Later, I found out Brittany had suggested the hiking trip in the first place, knowing I couldn't participate. Last month, there was a family barbecue. Brittany made comments about my teaching job the entire time. Must be nice to have such easy hours. All those vacations, summers off. Some of us work year-round, you know. When I mentioned that teachers work long hours during the school year and often take second jobs in summer, she said, "Yeah, but you get to play with kids all day. That's not really work." Every comment was designed to make me look lazy or privileged in front of the family. And when I tried to defend myself, I looked defensive and petty. Now I'm wondering how many other times she's deliberately tried to undermine me. The worst part. Tyler's response when I brought all this up. "Maybe you're reading too much into things, Rachel. Brittany's pregnant and stressed. She probably doesn't mean anything by those comments. Tyler, she tried to feed me something that could have killed me. That was an accident. She forgot about your allergy. She's known about my allergies for 3 years? Look, I know Brittany can be a little tactless sometimes, but she's family. Can't you just try to get along with her?" That word tactless made me see red. Deliberately trying to harm someone isn't tactless, it's malicious. But Tyler didn't see it that way. In his mind, I'm the problem. I'm the one being difficult and stirring up family drama. Yesterday, I called my best friend Emma. She's a nurse practitioner and has seen my medical documentation. I told her everything. "Rachel," she said, her voice serious, "what you're describing is medical gaslighting. Brittany is deliberately undermining your legitimate health needs, and Tyler is enabling it." Medical gaslighting? It's when people dismiss, doubt, or minimize your medical symptoms or needs. It's a form of psychological manipulation. And it's abuse, Rachel. Hearing that word abuse was like a punch to the gut. But it also felt like someone finally understood what I've been experiencing. Emma suggested I start documenting everything. Dates, times, witnesses, exact quotes. She said if this pattern continues, I'm going to need evidence. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm keeping a detailed record of every interaction with Brittany, every dismissive comment from Tyler, every time my medical needs are minimized or ignored. I'm also scheduling an appointment with my neurologist, Dr. Walsh, to get updated documentation of my condition. If Brittany wants to claim my vestibular disorder is just car sickness or psychosomatic, I'm going to have ironclad medical proof that she's wrong. Part of me hopes I'm overreacting. Maybe Brittany really is just stressed about pregnancy and doesn't mean to be cruel. Maybe Tyler really is just trying to keep peace in the family. But a bigger part of me knows I'm not crazy. The pattern is real. The manipulation is real, and I'm done being the family scapegoat. Next family gathering is Thanksgiving in 6 weeks. Brittany's already talking about how she wants to host at her house, how she has special dietary needs now that she's pregnant. I have a feeling that's going to be the real test. Thanks again for all your support, Reddit. Knowing I'm not alone in this means everything. Update 2. Reddit, I owe you all a huge thank you. Your advice to document everything has been invaluable. I've been keeping detailed records for a month now, and the pattern of behavior is even worse than I thought. But first, let me tell you about the Thanksgiving situation that's developing. 2 weeks ago, Brittany announced she wants to host Thanksgiving at her and Marcus's house. She's 7 months pregnant now and says she needs to control the environment for the baby's sake. Fine, whatever. But then she started making demands about the menu and seating arrangements that specifically target my medical needs. She wants to deep fry the turkey for Marcus's family tradition. I'm severely allergic to the oil they use for deep frying. She knows this. She wants to set up dinner buffet style in their finished basement because there's more room for everyone. Their basement has poor ventilation and strong chemical smells from Marcus's workshop that trigger my vestibular symptoms. She knows this too. When I mentioned these concerns to Tyler, he said, "Can't you just take extra allergy medication and deal with it? It's one dinner." Tyler, the oil they use could literally kill me. And the basement will make me sick for days. You're being dramatic. People eat deep-fried turkey all the time. People without severe allergies eat deep-fried turkey. Maybe this is a good opportunity for you to push your boundaries a little. I stared at him. Push my boundaries? We're talking about potentially life-threatening allergic reactions. The EpiPen will handle it if something happens. That's when I knew something was seriously wrong with my marriage. But here's the kicker. Last week, I was looking for Tyler's phone charger and found his phone unlocked on the counter. A text notification from Brittany popped up, and I couldn't help but see part of it. She always finds some medical excuse to ruin plans. My hands were shaking, but I opened the text thread. What I found made me physically sick. Messages going back months. Tyler and Brittany discussing my medical conditions like their personality flaws, planning ways to help me realize I can't always get my way. Some highlights. Brittany, "The car thing was perfect. Did you see how worked up she got?" Tyler, "Yeah, but now she's all paranoid about family gatherings." Brittany, "Good, maybe she'll finally realize she can't control everything." Tyler, "I told her you forgot about the nut allergy. She bought it." Brittany, "LOL, she's so gullible. Next time let's see if we can get her to eat something with shellfish." Tyler, "That might be too far, but the Thanksgiving basement thing should work." Brittany, "Exactly. Either she sucks it up and gets sick, or she looks like a bitch for refusing to come to family dinner." Tyler, "Perfect. My parents are already starting to think she's high maintenance." I took screenshots of everything before Tyler came back. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold the phone. They've been deliberately targeting my medical conditions. This isn't pregnancy hormones or family stress. This is a calculated campaign to make me look difficult and unreasonable. And Tyler, my husband, the person who's supposed to protect and support me, has been in on it the entire time. I've been crying for days, not just because of the betrayal, but because it means every time I doubted myself, every time I wondered if I was overreacting, I was actually underreacting. They've been gaslighting me for months. I called Emma and showed her the texts. She was furious. "Rachel, this is abuse. This is deliberate targeting of your medical conditions. You need to protect yourself." She helped me understand that what they're doing isn't just cruel, it's dangerous. Deliberately exposing someone to known allergens or triggers is assault. Planning to make someone with a medical condition sick is abuse. I also met with Dr. Walsh yesterday. I showed him the texts and explained what's been happening. He was appalled. "Mrs. Anderson, what you're describing is medical abuse and discrimination. Your vestibular disorder is a legitimate neurological condition. Your allergies are life-threatening. Anyone who deliberately targets these conditions is putting your health and safety at risk." He's writing a detailed letter documenting my conditions, the necessary accommodations, and the potential consequences of deliberately triggering my symptoms. He's also referring me to a colleague who specializes in disability rights. I've contacted a lawyer friend about the legal implications of what Tyler and Brittany have been doing. She says the text messages could be evidence of intentional infliction of emotional distress and potentially assault, depending on how far they take their plans. I've also been reaching out to extended family members. Tyler's cousin Sarah called me yesterday to say she's noticed Brittany's behavior too. "I've been wondering why you seem to miss so many family events lately," she said. "Now I'm thinking maybe you weren't missing them by choice." Turns out, several family members have noticed Brittany's comments about me but didn't know the full context. When I explained about my medical conditions and showed them some of the documentation, they were horrified. Tyler's Uncle Dave said, "Jesus, Rachel, we thought you were just being picky about food. Nobody told us you had life-threatening allergies." Which makes me wonder what story Brittany and Tyler have been telling the family about my medical needs. So here's my plan for Thanksgiving. I'm going, but I'm bringing backup. Emma is coming with me as my friend visiting for the holiday. She's a medical professional who can witness any attempts to target my conditions. I'm bringing my own food in sealed containers and eating nothing that Brittany prepared. I'm staying upstairs only, citing my medical needs with Dr. Walsh's letter if challenged. I have my phone set up to record conversations if needed. And if they try anything at all to deliberately trigger my medical conditions, I'm leaving immediately and considering legal action. Tyler doesn't know about the screenshots yet. He has no idea I know about their plan. Part of me wants to confront him now, but Emma and my lawyer friend both said to wait. Let them show their true colors at Thanksgiving with witnesses present. I'm scared, Reddit. I'm scared because I don't know who my husband really is. I'm scared because I trusted people who were actively trying to harm me. I'm scared because I have to face them in 2 weeks knowing what I know. But I'm also angry. And anger is stronger than fear right now. They want to play games with my health? Fine. Let's see how those games work out when they're exposed in front of the entire family. Thanksgiving is going to be very interesting this year. Update 3. Reddit, I'm still processing everything that happened, but I wanted to update you all because this community has been my lifeline through this nightmare. Thanksgiving was explosive, but not in the way I expected. I went in prepared for war, but what I got was a complete vindication and the most clarity I've ever had about my marriage and my place in this family. Emma came with me as planned. I had Dr. Walsh's letter, my phone ready to record, and my own sealed food. Tyler seemed nervous all morning, which should have been my first clue that he knew I was onto something. When we arrived at Brittany and Marcus's house, the setup was exactly as I'd expected. Deep fryer going in the backyard, dinner planned for the basement with poor ventilation and chemical smells that immediately triggered my symptoms. But here's what I didn't expect. Linda, my mother-in-law, immediately noticed my reaction to the basement. "Oh, honey, you look pale. Are you okay?" Before I could answer, Brittany jumped in. "She's fine, just being dramatic about some smells." That's when Linda's expression changed. "Dramatic? Rachel, what's wrong?" I explained about the chemical triggers and how the basement environment affects my vestibular condition. Linda looked confused, but Brittany said you just get motion sickness sometimes. She didn't say it was triggered by chemicals. Brittany's face went red. "It's the same thing, basically." "No, it's not," Emma said, introducing herself as my friend who's also a nurse practitioner. "Rachel has a diagnosed vestibular disorder with specific triggers. Exposure to chemical fumes can cause severe vertigo and nausea that lasts for days." Linda turned to Brittany. "You knew this would make Rachel sick?" She's just sensitive to everything. We can't plan every family event around her medical stuff." That's when I decided to deploy the nuclear option. "Actually, Brittany, I know you've been planning this deliberately." I pulled out my phone and showed the screenshots of the text thread. "You and Tyler have been discussing ways to trigger my medical conditions for months." The room went dead silent. I read some of the texts out loud. The one about helping me realize I can't always get my way. The one about deliberately using the oil I'm allergic to. The one about hoping I'd suck it up and get sick. Linda's face went white. Robert stood up from his chair. Marcus looked like he'd been slapped. But Tyler tried to flip it. "Rachel, you went through my phone? That's a violation of privacy. You plan to deliberately make me sick. That's a violation of our marriage." "You're taking those texts out of context," Brittany said, but her voice was shaking. "What context makes planning to expose someone to life-threatening allergens okay?" Emma demanded. Linda stood there, processing what she'd just heard. Her face went through a series of expressions: confusion, recognition, then something that looked like horror. "Wait," she said slowly. "Brittany, you told us Rachel just had motion sickness. You said she was being dramatic about food preferences." "She is being dramatic," Brittany insisted, but her voice cracked. Robert looked at the texts on my phone, reading them again. "Linda, look at this. They planned this. They actually planned to make Rachel sick." I don't understand," Linda said, and I could see her struggling. "Tyler, you're my son. You wouldn't deliberately hurt someone." "Mom, Rachel's making this sound worse than it is," Tyler said desperately. "We were just trying to help her see that she doesn't always need special treatment." "Special treatment?" Robert's voice was getting louder. "She has medical conditions." Linda looked at me, then at Tyler, then back at me. "Rachel, those papers you showed us before, the doctor's notes." They're real, Linda. They've always been real. But Brittany said, Linda trailed off, realization dawning. Oh my God, Brittany, you told us she was exaggerating. You said the doctor was just being cautious because of the lawsuit. What lawsuit? I asked. Linda looked stricken. From your car accident. Brittany said you were playing up your injuries for the insurance settlement. I felt like I'd been slapped. Linda, there was no lawsuit. There was no settlement. I was genuinely injured. The room went quiet except for Linda's shaky breathing. Mom, don't let her manipulate you, Tyler said, but his voice lacked conviction. That's when Robert exploded. Manipulate? Son, you plan to poison your wife. It's not poisoning, Tyler shouted back. It's abuse. Marcus finally found his voice. Everyone turned to stare at him. Jesus Christ, Brittany, what the hell is wrong with you? Turns out Marcus had no idea about any of this. He thought Brittany's comments about me were just normal sister-in-law complaints. When he realized his wife had been deliberately targeting my medical conditions, he lost it. You could have killed her. She carries an EpiPen, for God's sake. I wasn't actually going to poison her, Brittany protested. You plan to use oil she's allergic to? Just to see if she was really as allergic as she claims? The room erupted. Everyone was yelling at once. Linda was crying. Robert was demanding answers from Tyler. Marcus was staring at his pregnant wife like he'd never seen her before. But through all the chaos, I felt this incredible sense of clarity. These people, Tyler and Brittany, they weren't just thoughtless or insensitive. They were cruel, deliberately, calculatedly cruel. Emma took charge like the medical professional she is. Everyone needs to calm down. Rachel, we're leaving. This environment isn't safe for you. As we were gathering our things, Linda grabbed my arm. Please don't leave, please, I had no idea. Brittany told us you were just. She said you used your conditions to manipulate situations. Linda, I have documented medical conditions. I've shown you the paperwork multiple times. I know, I'm a retired nurse, for Christ's sake. I should have known better, but Brittany was so convincing about you being dramatic. Robert approached Tyler. Son, I want you to think very carefully about what you've done here. You planned to make your wife sick. You conspired with your sister-in-law to abuse someone with medical conditions. What the hell were you thinking? Dad, you don't understand. Rachel controls everything with her medical stuff. We can't do anything as a family without accommodating her problems. Her problems? Linda screamed. She has legitimate medical conditions. She could die from those allergies. She's not going to die from a little cross-contamination. The look of disgust on his parents' faces was something to behold. Emma and I left then, but the fallout has been swift and decisive. Marcus called me that night to apologize and ask for copies of the medical documentation. He's filing for separation. Apparently, finding out your pregnant wife plans to potentially poison family members is a deal breaker. Who knew? Linda and Robert have been calling daily to apologize. They've cut off contact with Brittany temporarily and are demanding Tyler come clean about what other plans they'd made. Tyler's cousin Sarah organized a family group chat without Tyler and Brittany to discuss the situation. Turns out, once people understood my actual medical conditions, they were horrified by what had been happening. Tyler's Uncle Dave said, "We thought Rachel was just really picky about food and seating arrangements. If we'd known she had life-threatening allergies and a neurological condition, we would have shut Brittany down months ago." The extended family is now planning a do-over Thanksgiving at Linda and Robert's house next weekend, with proper accommodations for my conditions and a clear message that medical abuse won't be tolerated. As for Tyler and me, he moved out last week. He's still insisting that I entrapped him by taking screenshots and that I've destroyed the family by exposing their plan. His exact words, "You could have just dealt with it for one dinner instead of blowing up our entire family." That tells me everything I need to know about who he really is. I've filed for divorce. I'm keeping the house. And honestly, I feel lighter than I have in years. Brittany, meanwhile, is having pregnancy complications that her doctor says are stress-related. Karma, meet consequence. The best part? I've started a support group for people with invisible disabilities who face medical gaslighting from family members. Emma is helping me coordinate it through the hospital where she works. Turns out, my experience isn't unique. There are lots of people whose families dismiss, minimize, or deliberately target their medical conditions. We're calling ourselves the Believe Me support group. Linda has asked to volunteer. She wants to help educate families about invisible disabilities and medical conditions. She says it's the least she can do to make up for her role in dismissing my needs. Tyler can keep his enabling, manipulative family dynamic. I found my people, the ones who believe me, support me, and would never dream of deliberately making me sick for their entertainment. To everyone who told me I wasn't crazy, who validated my experiences, who encouraged me to document everything, thank you. You literally saved my sanity and probably my health. The trash took itself out, and I couldn't be happier. Reddit, you're the best family I could ask for.